everyone, it's Anya here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks Crochet, and today we are making a pumpkin bauble. Now when I was thinking about baubles to make, I wondered whether it would be a good idea to make one in the shape of a pumpkin. I know lots of you love pumpkins and we are in the middle of the autumn, the middle of pumpkin season, so I thought why not try and make a bauble in the shape of a pumpkin. So for this bauble you will need gingerbread, leaf, cream, scissors, hook, darning needle and stuffing. My hook is a 3.5 because that's what I always use for DK yarn. So to get started we're going to make a slip knot. Insert your hook and we're going to chain 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now you're going to do a chain 1, so these are your 18 stitches. Now you're going to do a turning chain, so you chain 1, this does not count. And now in each stitch, so from your 18th one, skipping the extra one that we did just now for the turning, you're going to start doing half double crochets. So you pick up 2 strands and you do a half double crochet. So you go into the stitch right there and you make a half double crochet. A half double crochet is yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, and you pull through the 3 loops on your hook. And I use American terminology. There we go. And so now we are going to make 18 V. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have another 14 to go. So I have now done my 18 half double crochets, and we're going to do a chain 1. Once again, this chain 1 does not count, it's my turning chain, so I'm going to turn my work like this. And now we're going to do half double crochets all along the row, but we're going to place them in the back loop only. So if you tip the work towards you, you will see that there are V's. So to then get started on our row, you're going to yarn over and you're going to tip the work towards you, find the back strand there and use that one to put your stitch in. So you yarn over, tip the work towards you, pick up the back loop only, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Now don't pull too hard. As you can see, look, I am pulling a little bit harder, it's coming apart a bit. So try not to do that, but it will settle down a little bit afterwards. And this is what you're going to be doing every row. So this is the row that you're going to be repeating, but at the end of the row, and I will show you that in a moment, we're going to do something slightly different. So I will see you at the end of the row. So I've now made it to the end of the row. I still have 1 stitch to do. So tip the work towards you, find the 2 V's and go under both of them this time, because I just don't like it when the stitch expands at the end, and this way you have a nice edge to that. Doesn't really matter, but it just makes for a sturdier edge at the end there. Okay, so then make sure you count your stitches. So I have 18 V's on top of my work here, and I have now done 2 rows of half double crochets. So now we're going to be keeping on repeating row 3 until you have done about 22 rows, and that's when I will see you again. So you start with a chain 1, you turn, you yarn over, find the back loop there of that first stitch to do a half double crochet, and this is how you will continue until your last stitch where you pick up both the strands. I will see you when you have done 22 rows. So here I am. I have done about 22 rows. So let's join this end to this end. So we're going to chain one, you turn, and then you're going to bring this side up and hold them together like so. And we're going to use, of course, here we've got some leftover strands, so we're going to go into the first one. Is that the first one? Just check carefully. There we go. Okay. And then you go into, and I just use a front loop here of the V this time, and I pull through the yarn and I do a slip stitch. Then go to the next stitch, the next one, and another slip stitch. And you continue like this, picking up your strands, and it should look a little bit like this. I think that's okay. It's not too high up and it's sort of laying there, but that's fine because that's what we've been making anyway. We've been making ridges like you can see on a pumpkin, so that is okay. There we go. So you continue like this until the end of the row. Now at the end of the row, sometimes it's difficult to see which one is the very last one here and then one here. But if you wanted to and do an extra one, like maybe in this chain here and then another strand there, that's perfectly fine, of course, just to make sure, there we go, that you have a nice straight edge there. Okay, so now we're going to have to make a loop because this is going to be the top of our pumpkin. This is going to be the base, so we'll use a needle to pull this together in a moment. But we need to make sure that each of our baubles has a loop to hang it up with, of course. So that's what we're going to do first of all before we do anything else. And we're going to be chaining for these loops, and I would like to try and chain the same amount each time. And of course I haven't counted now because yes, I am just talking and chaining. So let's see how many we've got now. See if we can count them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 20, 2, 4, yeah, 25, that's fine. Okay, so this is going to be our loop for hanging our pumpkin up. And we're going to come back here and attach it with a slip stitch. There we go. Voila. And now we're going to cut off the yarn, but again leave a little bit of a long end, and we're going to pull this through. There we go. So we've got our loop ready. We've got our ends here ready to create our pumpkin, but I want to add some more things to say that this is going to be a pumpkin. So I have made a little leaf type twirly thing that goes on top of the pumpkin. So let me show you how I made that, and then we'll make a little stem as well. So here we go. We've got some green, and I'm going to just make my slip knot, insert the hook, and I'm going to chain, let's say, not too many, because this one is a bit too long really. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, something like that. No, 8, 9 and 10. You've got to give it a chance. So then we do one chain, that's our turning chain, and into the 10th chain you're going to be placing some single crochets. And when I say some, you're actually going to place 2 or 3 in there. So I've done 2 in there. Now into the next chain I'm going to do 2 as well, and into the next chain I'm going to place 3. Let's see what effect that gives. 1, 2 and 3. And can you see that actually it's already starting to twirl up or curl up, whatever you want to call it. Look. So you can just make these short little bursts of green. I don't know what they call them. I think I looked it up, but it said leaf and it didn't talk about those twirly bits. And it doesn't matter if you skip one somewhere or if you do two and then you do three. Shall I do another three in here because I can get in there? Just as long as your little twirly bit here is doing some curling, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm just going to place a few more single crochets into the last few chains here and finish off my little stem of greenery. There we go. So I'll just cut it off there, that's fine. Again, with quite long ends. There we go. See, so those two can go on top of my pumpkin as well. And then here I have some gingerbread because I want to make a little stem. And the way we're going to do that is by quickly making some I-cord. So I'm going to take a piece of yarn here and I've got it folded double. Here I'm going to make my slip knot. So I have two long ends of yarn here. One is coming from the ball and one is ending there. I won't be needing all that, but just to make sure I have enough. One of the strands you use like you usually use. The other one you hold in front of your loop. So then you're going to go in between the two strands. Pick up the front strand, then pick up the back strand. Make sure this doesn't twirl around. Hold on to your slip knot and pull through. Pick up the front strand, pick up the back strand, hold on to this, pull through. Front and back, pull through. Oh no, we're not going to need all that yarn that I have ready because of course this is just going to be the little bit of, look at that. That's big enough for my little stem. Okay, so we didn't need all this, but never mind. Better to have a bit more than to have not enough. So again, cut this off with quite an end. And now it's going to be assembly time. So first of all, we're going to put this one on my needle here. And I'm going to weave that in and out of the top of my pumpkin. Just so that I can bring it all together and start shaping it basically all the way along the top edge and back to where we started there. So as you can see, look, I can already pull this together. So I'm going to put this through here and then it comes out of the other end. So so I can still pull this and I can still manipulate. Look, there we go. Okay, so now I've got my end on this side here. Just pull it out and my needle came off. So pull the needle back on and just have a little bit of a pull it and then try to secure it so it stays where it is. So do a few loop the loops inside the pumpkin just so your yarn is secured and it's closed up there. I mean, you'll still be able to get through it because obviously we need to get through it in a moment with our embellishments. There we go. So this is looking a little bit sturdier. Voila. Okay, so this is what it looks like at the moment. Now I'm going to take this and put it in there. I'm going to put some of our stuffing in. Doesn't need much stuffing at all, but just to make sure you shape it nicely. There we go. It doesn't look like much at the moment. I know. I think I need a bit more stuffing. There we go. And now here we've got this end to work with as well. So we're going to do the same thing. Use this strand to go around the edge of the panel there and pull things together. And there we go. Look, we've got a bauble. Okay. Doesn't look like a pumpkin just yet. So now here I'm going to do that little bit of securing as well. Obviously I can't do it on the inside, so I'm just going crisscross across the base of the pumpkin. There we go. Voila. And then I just go in, come back out the other end and try to lose my end. There we go. Voila. So now we have a bauble, but we wanted to make it into a pumpkin, and to do that we need to do just this, you see. So you need to pull this and this towards each other, and that will make the pumpkin shape. But we've made these, so that's what we are going to use these for. So let's put this on the needle and go into the middle there and come out the other end. And let's pull the other side of, yeah, whatever, and yeah, there we go. Voila. That goes in another hole, comes out also at the base. Voila. Then this one, let's place it on the other side of that loop, so the loop stays nicely in the middle. So again, pull this one out. There's another strand there that we can use, and pull that through as well. Voila, look at that. That's looking a lot better already. And now here for our stem, same thing. Look at that. Oh, that's a lovely look at the top of our pumpkin. All right, so now all we have to do is shape it a bit more by pulling these ends here, and look at that. And now here what I suggest is, because there's always sort of that end at a pumpkin as well, I'm just simply going to knot these together. So you find two strands and you knot them. Really well. I mean, if you wanted to, you can do a little bit of sewing here as well, but I just wanted to make sure that it keeps its shape, and the simplest way to do that is by doing a little bit of knotting and then coming back to some more, just knotting any strand together really with other strands that you see. There we go. And that way you make a little bit of a bottom there, a base there for the pumpkin.
And then I'm going to sew in the ends by putting them on the needle and just taking the yarn inside the pumpkin, coming out of the pumpkin anywhere really, and then just reshaping the pumpkin and cutting off the yarn.
Pull them in like that. There we go. See, you can't tell. So let's do that with the rest of them. Just going in and coming out and cutting them off. Reshape it and look at that. Oh, I'm really liking that. There we go. So I hope you like our first bauble, a pumpkin for our Christmas tree. Why not, eh? Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!